What if a belief system could begin as a self-help book and grow into a global organization involving celebrities, court battles, secretive training levels, and decades of public controversy? What if former members claim leaving doesn't just mean walking away from a church, but sometimes walking away from your family, friendships, and your entire past? And what if the organization at the center of it all insists it's simply a religion, misunderstood by the outside world? Because behind the headlines, documentaries, and speculation, there is a much longer story. And it begins with a science fiction writer who believed he had discovered the key of the human mind. This is The Dead Hour. The story begins with L. Ron Hubbard. Before founding Scientology, Hubbard was a prolific science fiction writer. In 1950, he released Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, a book that claimed to offer a breakthrough method for understanding and clearing the human mind of traumatic memories. The book became a bestseller almost immediately. People were drawn to its promise that emotional pain and psychological barriers could be removed through structured therapy-like sessions. From this success, Hubbard expanded his ideas into something far larger. In 1953, he founded the organization that would become the Church of Scientology. What began as a self-help movement quickly evolved into a structured belief system with spiritual teachings, training levels, and internal hierarchy. And as the organization grew, so did its complexity. By the 1960s, Scientology had begun expanding internationally, establishing centers across the United States, Europe, and Australia. Hubbard introduced a deeper spiritual framework. Humans are immortal spiritual beings called Thetans. They have lived multiple past lives. Mental suffering comes from engrams or painful mental recordings. They can be removed through auditing sessions. Auditing uses a device called an e-meter, which Scientologists believe help detect emotional stress responses during questioning. Members progress through structured spiritual levels called operating thetan or OT stages. Critics later argued that access to higher levels required significant financial contributions. The church disputes this framing, stating the training requires commitment and time rather than payment for spiritual progress. During this period, Scientologists also began attracting public attention for its secrecy and internal discipline. Over time, Scientology became widely associated with several well-known public figures. One of the most famous members is actor Tom Cruise.
It's something that has helped me incredibly in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been a Scientologist for over 30 years, and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
Cruise has publicly supported Scientology for decades and is often seen as one of the most prominent advocates. Another well-known figure is actor John Travolta, who has also spoken positively about his experience in the church.
How important was Scientology?
Oh, extraordinarily important.
Hubbard taught you?
Well, his writings and
yeah.
teachings taught me tremendous things, again, about realistically what I feel is happening.
actress Kirstie Alley was a high-profile member for many years before later leaving the organization. These public figures brought mainstream visibility to Scientology, especially in Hollywood. At the same time, former members have claimed that celebrity involvement played a strategic role in public image and influence. Scientology itself states that celebrities are simply members who share its beliefs and are not treated differently in doctrine. At the center of Scientology is the belief in the Thetan, the true spiritual self. According to its teachings, you are not your body or mind. You are a spiritual being with countless past lives. Your limitations come from stored trauma. These can be cleared through auditing. The goal is spiritual liberation, reaching higher OT levels, where individuals are believed to gain greater awareness and ability. Scientology presents itself as a path toward self-understanding and spiritual clarity. Critics argue that the system is complex, layered, and requires extensive commitment to fully understand. Over the years, Scientology has faced significant criticism from former members, journalists, and watchdog groups. Common reported allegations include high financial cost for training and materials, strict internal discipline structures, pressure to distance from critics or suppressive persons.
When it comes to divorce, I had read about the difficulty of, or the process of divorce in the Church of Scientology. How does that actually work?
Well, when I was in the Church of Scientology, I was in what's called the Sea Organization, which is their military-like organization that runs all the day-to-day operations. I left when I was 19, and I was actually pregnant with my daughter, and my husband wanted to remain in the Sea Org, so we were ordered to get a divorce. I was told that if I wanted to leave, that I was to file for divorce because they wanted to keep him in the Sea Org. And you can't really have people who are in the Sea Org married to people who are...
One of the most controversial reported policies is disconnection, where members allegedly cut ties with individuals deemed harmful to their spiritual progress. The church states disconnection is not enforced and is a personal choice. Former members describe it as a difficult and emotionally painful consequence of leaving or disagreeing. This remains one of the most debated aspects of Scientology. Scientology has been involved in numerous legal battles across several decades. One major turning point was its long conflict with the U.S. government over tax status. After years of litigation, Scientology was granted tax-exempt status in 1993. The church viewed this as a recognition of its religious legitimacy. Critics viewed it as the outcome of prolonged legal pressure. Scientology has also been involved in lawsuits and investigations involving former members, media organizations, internal disputes. Some cases were settled privately, while others were dismissed or ruled in favor of the church. Because many legal matters are complex and confidential, public understanding often relies on reporting and testimony rather than full court records. Due to its secrecy and structured hierarchy, Scientology has been the subject of online speculation and conspiracy theories. These include claims such as hidden global influence networks, surveillance of former members, secret internal operation beyond public knowledge. It is important to be clear, there is no verified public evidence supporting these claims as fact. Most originate from anonymous accounts, online forums, or speculative commentary. However, the persistence of these theories reflects something broader: public curiosity about organizations perceived as closed or secretive. Today, Scientology continues to operate globally with churches, training centers, and outreach programs. It also maintains a strong presence in entertainment, largely due to celebrity members and media attention. The organization describes itself as a religion focused on spiritual freedom and human potential. Former members continue to publish books, documentaries, and interviews offering critical perspectives. As a result, public perception remains divided. A religion and philosophy to supporters, a controversial organization to critics, a subject to ongoing investigations and debate for journalists. So what is Scientology? A religion, a structured belief system, a controversial organization, or something that means different things depending on who you ask? For its members, it offers purpose, identity, and spiritual progression. For its critics, it raises questions about control, transparency, and influence. And for the public, it remains one of the most talked about and misunderstood modern movements. Because Scientology is not just a story of the past, it is still active, still growing, still debated, and its full story is still unfolding.